So bone loss accelerates rapidly in the first 5 to 10 years after menopause. This is the critical window, guys, okay? Today we're talking about osteoporosis. This is such an important thing that a lot of people don't even think about, especially women in their 40s. They're not thinking about osteoporosis. They're not thinking about bone loss. They're thinking about, the belly fat and the brain fog and the fatigue and maybe the hot flashes and the weird symptoms that they're having, which are totally valid. But one thing that we also need to be thinking about is our bone health and what's going to happen as we age. About 1 in 2 women over age 50 will experience an osteoporosis-related fracture in their lifetime. 1 in 2 over the age of 50. That's pretty significant. Now, I want to clarify that just because we age, just because we're in menopause, does not guarantee that you will have osteoporosis or osteopenia. I've heard that so many times. I have patients who tell me that now. I have patients in the hospital after a fracture. They're like, yeah, I'm old, so I broke my hip. No, it is not inevitable that that will happen. And there's so many things that we can do to prevent it. But unfortunately, things like the WHI did us a huge disservice. And so many of those women who we're now seeing in the hospital breaking their hips and their spine and everything are doing so because they were taking off their hormones. And we could have prevented this. Estrogen will not cure osteoporosis. It will not reverse it. It will prevent it. So prevention when it comes to osteoporosis is one of the most important things, because once we have a fracture, things really can go downhill. So it's estimated that up to 30% of postmenopausal women have osteoporosis. If you're over the age, honestly, if you're over the age of 40, I'm a huge proponent of having DEXA scans way earlier. And by the way, if you are new here, hi, I am Dr. Nicole Smith. I am a board certified family nurse practitioner, orthopedic board certified practitioner, and menopause certified provider. And I run a telemedicine hybrid practice here in Washington, Oregon State called Antigravity Wellness. This is my telemedicine clinic that is here behind me. I'm in the shed. I also have a physical location in Kennewick, Washington. We just do clinic there once a month for some in-person services, but mostly it's telemedicine, which is really great because we do hormone care. I don't have to do an in-person evaluation. I actually get to spend a lot more time with you. I just did a follow-up to this evening that was like an hour long. Don't tell anybody. I know that's not okay, right? We had a lot to talk about, okay? So, and it's not just like BS. It's like, actually, I've got like notes here that I need to go put in there. So that's how I run my practice, and I really love it. So this is what I love to do. So welcome. Thank you for joining me here. Osteoporosis is one of those things that, again, a lot of people don't talk about. A lot of people don't know about it, and they think that, you break a bone and then you're done. No big deal. No. So bone loss accelerates rapidly in the first 5 to 10 years after menopause. This is the critical window, guys, okay? Women can lose up to 10 to 20% of their bone mass during this time. That's huge. I use the analogy of the bank deposits. It's like your retirement fund. Your bones are like your retirement. So we're making deposits and we're making withdrawals all the time. That's how bones work. Okay. So they're constantly remodeling is what we call them. Always in a state of remodel. And it starts when we hit puberty. We build our bones then, and we're putting away and we're depositing. And then about when we hit age 30 is when we start making more withdrawals from that bank than we do deposits. And things that can accelerate the withdrawals include menopause, when we lose our estrogen. Estrogen is an anabolic hormone, meaning that it builds. It's a builder. It builds muscle. It builds bone. Very, very important for this. So when we lose that signal, we lose that building signal and we stop building as much. There's lots of things, though, that we can do to counteract this. Getting on MHRT, menopause hormone replacement therapy, is one of the things that we can do. Very, very effective, very helpful. Definitely slows down that rate of breakdown and improves deposits into our account. Gets us through our retirement into our very old age, well over the age of 100, right? Let's live to be 100 and not break a bone. That'd be cool. Let's talk about the rates of women versus men. Women are 4 times more likely than men to develop osteoporosis. So lifetime fracture risk for women is 50%. For men, it's 20 to 25%. I'm looking over here because I'm reading my notes, okay? So by age 65, 1 in 3 women has osteoporosis. 1 in 5 men has osteoporosis. Yes, men can get osteoporosis too, and they actually have worse outcomes. We'll talk about that later. Women are disproportionately affected due to estrogen loss, but men are often underdiagnosed and undertreated. I've seen that in my practice. I've seen that in the hospital when I was working with hip fracture patients there. So let's talk about mortality and morbidity. Mortality rate is rate of death. Morbidity rate is rate of other issues, functional decline, other illnesses, and things like that that can occur because of this, right? So mortality rate, 20 to 30% of women die within 1 year of a hip fracture. This is a killer. Osteoporosis is a killer. Highest risk is in the first 3 to 6 months after a fracture. Now, the standard of care now is to fix the fracture. We've had patients even that were immobile, meaning they were not walking before they broke a hip. So how did they break a hip? They rolled over in bed, or it just broke on its own. It's so fragile. So we're talking about low impact falls. If you trip and fall down a couple of stairs and you break a hip, that's not normal. That bone is huge and normally very strong. If you're in a car accident and you break a bone, or you fall off of a ladder, okay, that's different. Okay, that's more high impact. We're talking about low impact. You were standing and you fell over and you broke a hip, you broke a wrist. If you break your wrist, that's diagnostic for osteoporosis, but it gets missed all the time. And I will see these women who broke a wrist from they were standing, they fell and tried to break their fall, and they broke their wrist. No one told them. No one did a DEXA scan to see what else is going on in there. 5 years later, they're back in the ER. They have a massive hip fracture. We could have possibly prevented that if we had known, if we had done proper screening and gotten them on treatment. Morbidity. Only 40% regain their pre-fracture level of independence. This is one of the reasons why it decreases your lifespan. If you're not mobile anymore, things start to fall apart, okay? We need to keep moving. 60% require assistance with daily living after a fracture. 20 to 25% require long-term nursing home care. So the complications that we have after a fracture include loss of mobility, increased fall risk, fall and break again, muscle loss, sarcopenia, blood clots, infections, and deconditioning. So it's not just about bones. It's about your independence, your mobility, and your longevity. Girl, do you want to be in a nursing home for the last whatever you have left of your life? No, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. So what do we do? What do we do about this? Not to be all doom and gloom, right? We talked about MHRT, menopause hormone replacement therapy. So getting you on estrogen and progesterone, especially if you still have your uterus, very important. And also for some women, testosterone. Testosterone helps to build muscle and bone. And testosterone, we have more testosterone in our bodies than we do estrogen. Ladies, nobody tells us this, right? It's a lot less than men, but it is a human hormone, not just a man's hormone. Okay, thank you very much. Even though the FDA refuses to acknowledge this and have an approved source of testosterone for women, so we have to dose it from the men's pre-approved, FDA approved. They get coverage. We don't. It's bullshit. Anyways, that's just my opinion. Shared by many. So we can do estrogen replacement. We can get you on hormones to get you back to physiologic dosing and to prevent the loss of bone. We can also do increased protein intake. Protein is very important for bone mass. We need amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks of our entire body, of everything in us, right? If we're not having enough of that, it's just not going to work. And we need more as we age. So for women, I say 1 gram per pound of ideal lean body weight before menopause. So for most average women, that's around 120 to 140 grams per day. So we're looking at 30 to 35 grams of protein per meal. 2 ounces of chicken is not enough. Double to 2.5 that. Okay, we're looking at least 4 ounces of protein per meal, 4 to 6 ounces. Okay, And we also need to make sure that we're having a little bit of protein with our snacks too. So we're aiming for like 10 to 15 grams. 20 grams is great if we can get that. We also need to make sure we're getting our micronutrients. So having a whole foods diet, we need calcium. Yes, we know about calcium. That's not the only thing that goes into bones though. We need calcium, we need iron, we need zinc, and we need boron. So those are very important. So that's why I put everyone on a multivitamin, guys. I'm sorry, but our diets are just not that good. And I grow my own food out in the freaking backyard, and I'm still, when I'm really tracking things and I'm tracking my nutrient intake, I'm not meeting even some of the daily recommended requirements for just basic health. It's really, really difficult. Okay. So taking a multivitamin just gives you that insurance. I really like Cottage, and I have no affiliation with them at all. I don't have an affiliate link or anything like that. I have a full scripts dispensary that I, use for my patients, and you can access it. People can access it to get a little bit of a discount, but it has like thousands of supplements on there. So I have no affiliation with Cottage. I just really like it. I've been using with my patients, and they've been really liking and feeling a difference, which when do you ever feel a difference with a multivitamin? But the women's fermented multivitamin from Cottage is really good. The men's is also very good. My husband uses that one. He notices the difference. So if you want to try one, that was what I recommend. Always check with your doctor and your pharmacist, though, before changing or doing anything with your diet, exercise, supplements, anything like that. I'm not your doctor. Unless I am your doctor, then come talk to me. Strength training. How could I forget strength training? Progressive strength training. I have so many women, too, in the hospital. They're like, so I'm like, what are you doing for your weight-bearing exercise? And they're like, oh, I walk. I'm like, okay, and what else? Walking is great. I love walking, and everyone should be walking more. Some of you actually need to be walking less, but most of us should be walking more. If you're getting like over 10,000 steps a day, girl, calm down. You're okay. You don't need more. More is not always better at this, but if you're getting like 7,000 to 8,000 steps per day, you're right on track. You're doing great. More of that is not necessarily going to do you any good. What will do you good though is strength training. And we're talking about progressive overload. Start with body weight. You start with where you are. You don't have to go crazy with this. You don't have to go to a gym and lift with the meatheads if that's not your thing. I love it. It's my thing. But I had to get to that point. It was really intimidating when I first started going to the gym, and like in my 20s, in my late 20s and my early 30s. And now I'm a total meathead. It's fine. But you don't have to go to that level, but definitely doing strength training, progressive overload. That means that you're getting stronger over time. You don't lift the same weight, the same way every single day for the rest of your life. That's not going to get you anywhere. And this is why it's so much better for you to do strength training than in cardio. Cardio, you can get to a certain level, but it's not going to build you more muscle than strength training is. It just won't. Sprints are a little bit better, but if you already have osteoporosis or osteopenia, you really shouldn't be doing super high impact, no plyometrics or anything like that, because your bones are already soft. We don't need to increase your risk for a break. We need to work on building up the strength of that, but we don't do high impact. None of that. And being able to increase your muscle mass, what builds muscle builds bone. Simple as that. And the more muscle that we build, the more bone density you're going to have because you're putting tension on those bones. We know that now, like after total joint replacement or hip fracture or anything, we get you up and moving right away because the bones need that stimulus. They need that pressure to go, oh, we need to respond to this and get stronger. Just like your muscles do. We need to respond to this and get stronger, right? So giving them the hormone stimulation, giving them the nutrition that it needs to build. You need the building blocks, you need all those components, and then giving it the stimulus to stay strong. So those are the three components that are necessary for bone strength as we age. Dr. Desiree Lyle and I from Raise the Bar Physical Therapy, me from Antigravity Wellness, we are putting together an osteoporosis workshop. It's going to be May 9th at 10:30 a.m. at CrossFit Unrestrained in Pasco, Washington. There's a small fee to come join us because we're going to have like goodie bags and refreshments and all kinds of fun stuff. And then we're going to donate whatever proceeds that we have to the Osteoporosis Foundation. So that is what we're doing. And if you're interested, then go ahead and like comment or send me a DM. We'll get you that. We're finalizing all of that stuff right now. So I don't have the link to actually get the tickets yet, but that will be live here really soon. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, we'd love to see you. I'm going to talk a little bit more about osteoporosis and all that good stuff, a little more structured than me just like ranting on Facebook. And Desiree is going to actually talk to you some more about strength training and what that looks like, and then run us through a very easy workout, more just to kind of like run through the motions. So wear your workout clothes, bring an exercise mat, a yoga mat. I love the squishy ones. Those are my favorite. We will have some chairs, we'll have some benches and things like that, and some refreshments, and some lovely Mother's Day goodie bags for you guys. So really excited. So I hope to see you there. Otherwise, if there's anything else you guys are ever questioning about perimenopause and menopause and all the things, and you have any questions, leave me a comment, send me a DM. Let me know what you guys want me to talk about, what questions that you have. And if you live in Washington, Oregon State, and you need a provider who specializes in this, and you're feeling really dismissed and like no one's helping you, or they're freaking clueless, that's because we didn't get trained in this, guys. I had to go really out of my way to get this training and to specialize in this, but I fill that gap. That's what I do. I love doing this. I love talking to women about what's going on with all of the things, not just their sex hormones. We talk about thyroid. We talk about gut health. We talk about their adrenals. We talk about their sleep. Like it's a huge whole thing. Hence why I spent an hour on a follow-up call today. But it's important, and I love practicing the way that I do so that I can be there for you guys. So if that speaks to you, if that's something that you're interested in, you can comment hormone help. You can DM me. You can email me, Dr. Nicole Smith, NicoleSmith at antigravitywellness.com. You can also go to our website, antigravitywellness.com, and check out our services there. And there is a contact form as well. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I will talk to you later. Bye.